Shalom, friends. Today, we will explore a series of profound questions. Why do Jews not evangelize? What is a Noahide Jew? And how do Messianic Jews reconcile spreading the gospel with the Noahide Laws? We will examine these questions through the lens of the two greatest commandments, to love God with all our heart, soul, and mind, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. As Rabbi Yeshua taught, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. A second likewise is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole Torah and the prophets depend on these two commandments. Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 40. The Jewish people do not actively seek converts, a practice often misunderstood. The reason stems from the unique relationship between God and the Jewish people, defined through the Torah. The covenant made at Mount Sinai established a distinct calling for Jews to fulfill the 613 mitzvot, laws that applied to them alone. In the Talmud, it is written, "The righteous of all nations have a share in the world to come." Sanhedrin chapter 105, verse 10. This highlights that God does not require all people to become Jewish to be righteous. Instead, non-Jews are called to observe the 7 Noahide Laws, a universal moral code for all humanity. These Noahide laws include prohibitions against idolatry, blasphemy, murder, theft, sexual immorality, and cruelty to animals, as well as the establishment of courts of justice. In this way, Judaism upholds God's universal love for all humanity. To love God means to honor his divine plan. To love our neighbor means to respect the path he has set for them. The term Noahide Jew is not common, but can describe those who observe the 7 Noahide laws while respecting Judaism as a source of these principles. They recognize the Jewish people's covenant with God while following the universal laws given to Noah in Genesis. As it is written, "And God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, As for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your offspring after you." Genesis chapter 9, verses 8 and 9. These individuals live moral, ethical lives, fulfilling their role as righteous among the nations. From the perspective of the two greatest commandments, this reflects love for God through obedience to his moral law and love for neighbor through ethical conduct. Messianic Jews believe that Rabbi Yeshua fulfills the Torah and the prophets, bringing the nations closer to God. Yeshua's command to make disciples of all nations, Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 through 20, reflects God's desire for all people to know him. The Noahide laws serve as a foundation for Gentiles, but Yeshua offers something deeper, a spiritual fulfillment and reconciliation with God. This does not negate the Noahide laws, it elevates them, inviting people to embrace the fullness of God's truth. The Jerusalem Council affirmed this in Acts chapter 15, where Gentile believers in Yeshua were not required to convert to Judaism, but were instructed to observe basic moral principles aligned with the Noahide laws. A key clue to understanding this connection lies in the specific instruction to abstain from eating blood and animals that were strangled. As it is written, "But that we write to them that they abstain from the pollution of idols, from sexual immorality, from what is strangled, and from blood." Acts chapter 15, verse 20. This mirrors the prohibition in Genesis, "But flesh with its life, that is, its blood, you shall not eat." Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. The command to avoid eating flesh from a living animal is not a common moral principle, making it a significant clue linking the instructions in Acts to the 7 Noahide laws given to Noah. The Jerusalem Council was clearly echoing these foundational commands for Gentiles, aligning with the universal ethical code God established after the flood. In loving God, Messianic Jews share the gospel not as a rejection of Noahide righteousness, but as an invitation to a deeper relationship with the Creator. In loving our neighbor, we share this truth with humility, allowing free will and sincerity to guide their choice. The role of the Jewish people has always been to act as a light to the nations. As written, "I will also give you as a light to the nations, that you may be my salvation to the end of the earth." Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. For Messianic Jews, Rabbi Yeshua embodies this light. Sharing the gospel fulfills this calling, inviting people of all nations to experience God's love and truth. At the same time, respecting the Noahide Laws honors God's universal plan for righteousness. The Midrash teaches the Torah was offered to all nations, but only Israel accepted it wholeheartedly. Sifri Devarim, chapter 343. This does not exclude the nations, but highlights Israel's role in guiding others towards God's moral truth. In summary, Judaism does not evangelize because it recognizes God's covenant with Israel and the universal path of righteousness for the nations through the Noahide Laws. A Noahide Jew honors God's moral plan without becoming Jewish. For Messianic Jews, spreading the gospel fulfills Yeshua's teachings while respecting these divine principles. Through the lens of the two greatest commandments, we see that loving God means honoring his plan for all people, and loving our neighbor means sharing his truth with humility and respect. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more biblical insights. God bless.